Shitter's full. Shitter's full. Shitter's full.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. 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 Clap your hands, clap, clap, clap. Stomp your feet, stomp, stomp, stomp. Spin around, spin, spin, spin. Alright. Good morning, good morning, good morning. 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 Wash your hands, wash, wash, wash. Shake your hands, shake, shake, shake. Brush your teeth, brush, brush, brush. Alright. Good morning.
Happy Monday! Whee! Man, I hope y'all had a great weekend. Oh, hold on. Let there be light! Thank you! I hope y'all had a great weekend. I'm pretty sure that you did. Especially if you're a Memphis fan. You had a great weekend. You run the state. Congratulations to Memphis. Completely owning and dominating the state of Tennessee in basketball and football. So great day for the Memphis Tigers. Great weekend for the Memphis Tigers. Shout out to Memphis. We talk a lot of trash on this channel, but you know, every once in a while it's okay to point out teams that are doing something good. So shout out to Memphis with a big win in basketball this weekend. But how y'all doing? Did y'all have a good weekend? What'd y'all do? How many of y'all are in school or work? Are y'all off all of next week or what? My kids have school all this week. Then they're off till I don't know, January 4th or 5th or something, whatever it is. But they go all this week. What if you work? What do y'all take off for work when you at Christmas? I worked retail for a long time, and so I got Christmas Day off, and that was it. Yeah, Mrs. Lou is taking almost the whole week off next week, which is great and unusual. Usually she's not able to do that. But Christmas falls right in the middle of the week, doesn't it? Isn't it on Wednesday next week? Yeah, Christmas on Wednesday next week. So she is, you know what? I can't remember. She's either working Monday or Friday. I can't remember which. I think it's, hell, I don't know. She's either working, she works Monday through Friday anyway, like a 7 to 5 type thing. And she's either working Monday or Friday, but she's off the rest of the week. So that's unusual for her. So that's good. She gets almost that whole week off, which is amazing. Mike Taylor, are you self-employed? Yeah, I hear you. Work when you need some cash. Yeah. But appreciate y'all tuning in this morning. BVD's calling in this morning, so we'll talk to him, see how his holiday season is going. If you're new to the morning show, welcome to the morning show with Uncle Lou. We do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern. And I think in the off season, I'm going to expand this show to 5 days a week. I really like doing this show, and we just started it a couple of months ago, and it's been about 50% football and about 50% other, or 50% sports, 50% other stuff. One of the reasons I started this morning show was to give me a chance to talk about things that aren't sports related, but since I started it right in the middle of football season, I have been talking a lot about football, but in the off season, I think we're going to expand this show to 5 days a week, and that'll give us all kinds of time to talk about all kinds of things, which is amazing. But here's the live schedule here: Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. for the morning show. The call-in shows are the UNCLELOU Live. The call-in shows Tuesday and Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. I wasn't able to do the Saturday show this past weekend. It looks like I might not be able to do it this coming weekend either. I'll let you guys know for sure in the next day or two, but it looks like I might not be able to do the Saturday show this coming week either. And then next week is Christmas. Christmas is on Wednesday, right? So no morning show on Christmas. No Tuesday night show on Christmas Eve. Other than that, the live shows will stay the same. So I'll still do the show Monday morning. I won't do the live show Tuesday night. I won't do the morning show Wednesday, but I will do the call-in show Thursday night and then the morning show on Friday. So just no live shows Tuesday and Wednesday of next week for the Christmas week. I'll still have videos uploaded on the regular schedule like I always do. I'm fixing to start my bowl previews this week, I think. So I haven't figured out exactly how I'm going to do that yet. I think some bowl games I will do by themselves, like probably the playoff games. I'll do a Clemson Ohio State video, then I'll do an LSU Oklahoma video. I'll probably do that for most of the New Year's Six bowls, but then a lot of the other bowls I'll probably lump in, 2, 3, 4 games per video, kind of like the previews I do during the season. We'll sort of see how that works itself out this week as I get started. But again, I appreciate y'all tuning in this morning. Colin, M46, Kevin 033, Brian Wallace, Matt Griffith, Snake Spencer 725. The Glitter Gator is here. Good morning, sir. Gator Pickerel, good morning. He says I'm his illegitimate father, unless you got some paperwork that proves that, sir. DNA test, take me on the Maury Povich show or something. Other than that, I have no. I'm denying anything. Russell, good morning, sir. Jordan Bowman, Gabriel Woods. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Heisman ceremony this past weekend, but no suspense there. I mean, everybody knew. Burrow was going to win it, right? I mean, I didn't have any doubt at all. I don't think very many people did either. And when you look at the voting totals, he was a very overwhelming pick to win it. I guess, was it Jalen Hurts ended up getting the second most votes, Justin Fields the third most votes, and Chase Young in fourth, although Chase Young, I think, had the second most first place votes, but overall finished fourth. But Burrow won in a landslide. I don't think anybody was surprised by that at all. Unbelievable season for Joe Burrow. So shout out to him and the LSU fans. Great season for him, and it's not over yet. Of course, they're undefeated and in the playoffs, sitting at 13-0, and a number 1 seed. So they'll face Oklahoma in round 1, and of course Clemson and Ohio State, the other round 1 game. I hope y'all finished y'all's Christmas shopping. How many of y'all in the comment section, be honest, haven't bought a single Christmas present? Not a single one. I'm willing to bet the majority of you, and that's pretty sad. Look at them all. What are y'all waiting on? What are y'all doing? Y'all are those people running around Walmart on Christmas Eve with a cart full of leftover shit that nobody else wanted. The only reason it's still there. You bought 2? Hell, you're out to a huge lead over the majority of these people in the comment section, it looks like. Glitter Gator says he was done on the 5th. Good man, sir. I feel like I'm never done. I get on to Miss Lou all the time because we have this conversation. It seems like every year around Halloween, we're like, let's go ahead and start buying Christmas presents now so that we're not having to spend all of our money in December waiting. Let's start buying now a little bit here and there to make it easier on ourselves in December. But every year when we do that, all that happens is we end up just buying more stuff. I don't know how that ends up happening. It's got to where I can't hardly move around out here. I wish I could show y'all. It's nothing but boxes. I got to go start. It's getting to the point now I don't even remember what's out here. I got to start going through some of it. And I'll tell you this, though. As good as I am at getting a head start on buying the Christmas presents, I'm terrible when it comes to actually wrapping anything and putting it. I haven't wrapped a single. Now, there's all kinds of presents under our tree, but that's all Miss Lou. Like, Miss Lou has wrapped up some stuff for the kids and, like, our parents and kids' cousins. And so there's all kinds of stuff wrapped up under the tree, but I haven't wrapped a single thing. Everything I've bought since Halloween is just sitting out here in boxes. I order everything from Amazon. I think there's only been one or two things I've actually bought in a store. This entire shopping season, but I got to start wrapping some of this stuff up, I guess, this week. So I do good on getting a head start on the shopping, but when it comes to actually sitting down and wrapping the stuff up, I can't stand it. So we'll see. Matt, you wrap your presents in Kroger bags and newspaper. Well, lucky for me, I have what seems to be a never-ending supply of wrapping paper, so that's not really an issue for me. Shout out to the sponsor this morning. Nobody. If you want to sponsor the show, email me crazyunclelou@gmail.com. Yeah, BVD's calling in here in a few minutes. Hopefully, we'll see. 8:15 does come early. But I have every reason to believe that BVD is a responsible individual and a man of his word. And if he tells me he's calling in at 8:15, I believe that he'll be calling in at 8:15. So we'll talk to him. We'll see how his Christmas is going. I guess we'll ask him about the VOLS, the VOLS basketball team and what he thinks. Are they going to be as good as they were last year? How far can they go in the tournament? Will they ever make a Final Four? No. And we'll see what he thinks about their bowl matchup against Indiana. Outside of the Heisman ceremony this past weekend, though, there's not really a whole lot to talk about in college football. I mean, we could continue to beat the dead horse of the first-round playoff games. I feel like that's all we've talked about for the last couple of weeks, and that's all we're going to talk about for the next couple of weeks. Army, Navy appoint officers for investigation. I better not click on this headline, and it's about that stupid hand symbol. Did y'all hear about this? This better not be what this is. It is. Jesus Christ. Did y'all hear about this? This is stupid. I don't even really know what the hands... Is it the thing where you do this or something and hold it down? They say, I guess... I don't listen. I don't know anything about white power symbols. I know the one from Nazi Germany just because that's the one you see all the time. But let's see what BVD thinks about it. Yeah, good morning, Nat.
Yeah, good morning, and that I guess.
I was just telling the people I was giving you about an 85 to 90% chance of calling in today. I was trying to convince them that you were a responsible individual and that if you said you were going to call, you were going to call. And lo and behold,
you're a good liar.
Yeah,
you're a good liar, Lou. I'm faking it. I'm actually not awake right now.
Yeah. Well, you could have fooled me.
It's my evil twin.
Yeah. We'll get to some more important things with you in a minute here, but I happen to be talking about this when you called in. I don't know if you watched the Army Navy game or if you watched any news yesterday, but you know that hand symbol that people throw up and like if you I don't even know what it means. If you look at it or I don't know, it looks like the AOK symbol but upside down or something, and people are saying it's a white power symbol. You know what I'm talking about?
I have no clue what you're talking about, actually. I did. I watched I watched part of the Army Navy game. Of course, we had a little basketball game going on this weekend. We let Memphis win a game,
Yes, you did.
But yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, actually.
Well, there's some kind of game, I guess. I don't know if I guess kids started it or something, and you make a certain symbol with your hands, and I'm afraid to do it, but you make a certain symbol with your hands, and then if you can get someone to look at it, I don't know, you get to punch them in the arm or I don't know, it means they're gay or so, I don't know, one of those stupid things that kids start.
Actually, I do know what you're talking about.
Okay, and I guess it's also happens to be a symbol for white power, which I don't know anything about. I was just telling the people right before you called, other than like the hand salute thing that you see on all the old-time footage from the Nazis, I don't know anything about white power symbols, but apparently that's also a white power symbol. Well, at the Army-Navy game, someone was being interviewed, and in the background, a couple of students were throwing that hand symbol up, and now they're all in an uproar that these kids must be white supremacists and all this kind of stuff. Now, I'm pretty sure they were probably just doing the other thing, the game or whatever. It's just a shame, but now I'm reading this article here. The Army and Navy academies each now have appointed special officers to conduct separate internal investigations into possible white power hand gestures flashed by a few students during a broadcast in the Army-Navy game, the Academy of Public Affairs said Sunday. And it's just ridiculous that it's came to that. What kind of investigation? I mean, surely these people are known at whether they're Army or Navy Academy students, I don't know, but surely they're known to those around them, and it just seems like a quick, hey, is this guy racist? Yes, no. No, we were just doing this stupid hand symbol. It just seems ridiculous to me that, I guess it's possible they're white nationalists or something, but it's just insane.
Yeah, how do you conduct that anyway? I mean, do you get these kids and say, "Hey, are you racist?"
Right?
No. Okay. Well, thank you. I mean,
yeah.
We never really had a name, I guess, for what you're talking about. I had a friend of mine in North Carolina that used to do that crap to me all the time, and somebody over there called it bagging. You're bagging somebody.
Okay.
And it's like you said, you're throwing the OK sign upside down, and if you look at it, you're busted, and but if you stick your finger through the little hole there, you bust them. So it's just some crazy crazy kids
all kinds of rules and
came
stuff
up
to
with.
it too.
Yeah, rules, man. There's rules are rules, Lou. You know this.
Yeah. Well, BVD, happy holidays, sir.
Thank you, man.
Now, BVD's Christmas spirit on a scale of 1 to 10. Are you more Ebenezer Scrooge or are you more Tiny Tim?
I'm more like Ebenezer Tim.
Okay.
I try this time of year to keep a little bit of Christmas spirit just for my daughter. Other than that, I generally don't like this time of year. It's I lost my mother during the Christmas holidays years ago. My dad lost him a few years ago. I just basically don't have any family left other than my daughter. So I try and put on a happy face for her. But
right.
Generally, I just try and get through this time, get through it, get through New Year's, and start the new year fresh and that kind of thing.
That kind of feeling is way more common than a lot of people realize. I think. It seems like every year around this time, you hear these stories about how this time of year has the highest suicide rate and things like that. People, people tend to be either really, really happy this time of year or really, really sad.
Yeah. How about you? Where's your Christmas spirit level this time of year?
Pretty high. I have the same issue as you. My mother passed away like 8 days before Christmas last year. So last year was a different story, but and my mom loved Christmas. I mean, she was, she was one of these people like that most people made fun of. Like, look at this lady out here putting Christmas decorations up the day after Halloween, like that kind of thing,
Yep.
I mean, she just
probably
loved
liked
it.
My mom and decorated the bathrooms even.
So last year was hard, and we always did Christmas over at their house. We would do Christmas here in the morning, like Santa Claus for the kids and all that kind of stuff. But then me and my brother and our families would all go over to my parents' house and hang out all day and eat dinner over there and all that kind of stuff. And we really didn't have time last year to come up with any alternative plan. She passed away like 8 days before Christmas. The funeral was 3 or 4 days before Christmas, so we still went over there last year. And of course, my dad was a mess, so it was, last year was a different story. But generally speaking, Uncle Lou loves Christmas time, and again this year too. And we went to the beach this weekend, and that's why we went. It was for my mom. That's why we went down there. That was her favorite place on earth.
Okay.
Yeah, we for years and years and years, we went down there every summer. Stayed in that same house where we stayed this past weekend, and it was my mom's like dream to move down there when she retired. She just loved it down there. So we planned this almost since last year. We said, next Christmas we're gonna spend a weekend at the beach, and we didn't want to do it on Christmas because me and my brother both have young kids, and so we wanted to be home for the actual Christmas. So we decided, we'll go a weekend or two before Christmas and spend a weekend, and it was nice. We had a good time. My mom was cremated. That's what she wanted, so we spread some ashes down there, and but we had a good time. I'm not trying to bum people out or depress people, because that's not really what it was. I mean, it was a little sad when we went down there, and my dad gave a little speech or whatever, but overall, like, it was good to do that. I think it was like not closure, because you never really get closure on losing a parent, but I think it was good for all of us to go down there, talk about her, tell stories about her, that kind of thing. We had a good time. So
that's kind of keeping up with the tradition.
Yeah.
For you guys.
Right.
So
right. Yeah, we had a great
good
time.
Good healing stuff.
Yeah. So now, what will BVD do on Christmas? Now, I know that your daughter is way too old to be waking up at 5 a.m. hunting Santa gifts.
Yeah.
But what does BVD do these days on Christmas Day?
Well, it really just kind of depends on where she is. Me and her mother split up when she was like 3, so we always try and kind of like you said, we would do her parents on Christmas Eve and my parents on Christmas, or not my parents, but my family on Christmas Day, that kind of thing. So basically now, man, just whatever she wants to do. She's working now. She opted out of college and is joined the workforce. She's another one of those kids. I'm going to take a year off, Dad.
Yeah.
And you know how that goes. But basically, I just try and do whatever she wants to do. It's you have kids. It's all about the kids anyway, and that never changes. I don't think.
Right.
Even as they get older, it's still about the kids. And I'm 53 in a month, and I'm still having trouble getting over the fact that trying to convince people that Santa is real, man. I mean, what's wrong with these people?
My parents, I think probably a lot of people too, but I remember being like, 12, 13, 14, 15 when really, I knew, but my mom especially, but I guess my dad too, but maybe my mom, but every year, like around this time or a little sooner, if as soon as you stop believing, Santa stops coming. So like, yep. I believed until I still believe. Hell, I still believe.
I know, we're crazy, aren't we?
Yeah.
Our big Christmas tradition for my mom's side of the family, my mom and dad's side of the families were totally polar opposites. So I'll tell you how messed up our family was. Our big tradition on Christmas the last 10, 12 years before everybody started dying off was the Christmas poker game. Now, how messed up is that? We would all get together at an aunt's house and, do the gift thing.
Yeah.
And then the big family poker game would break out. And, of course, within 10 minutes, somebody, usually my uncle, would get mad. And it would end in a big fight. And, it almost got to where if the poker game didn't end in a big fight every year, something was wrong with Christmas.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
I think a lot of people play maybe board games or card games or something like that, but I don't know about gambling on poker. That might be a
Yeah.
BVD family thing.
That's a little sacrilegious, I guess, isn't it?
Oh, that's funny.
You have to know my family.
Yeah. What's at the top of BVD's Christmas wish list this year?
Waking up Christmas morning.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yes, it is.
I quit wishing, obviously, for things many, many years ago, but at the top of my Christmas wish list every year is happiness for my kid.
Yeah.
As long as she's happy and things are going well in her life, I'm good.
Yeah. That's something that, unless you have kids, it's really hard to explain that to somebody. But
yeah.
And me and you have talked about this privately because of some personal things we have in common. But like, I mean, I go to sleep every single night, and I think every parent does, like dreading, like, okay, what, as a parent, what did I do wrong today? Like it's just, it's just your biggest fear that you're doing something wrong. That you've screwed up your parenting some type of way that can't be fixed, or you're like, oh my God, I'm the worst parent ever.
You just wait till your kids start driving.
Oh God, yeah, no,
yeah,
in no
and
hurry.
Dating,
yeah.
It's worse.
Yeah,
dating and driving are every dad's, of course, worst fear when you have a daughter for Christmas. I started to say for Christmas, but when you have a daughter, but when you have one child, and that one child is a female, it just makes the worry factor is exponentially quadrupled, if that's a word.
Yeah. Well, I'll be leaning on you for a lot of advice in that area.
I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but
of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is. I have two kids. Of course, my oldest is my daughter. She's how old is she? 12. She'll be 13 this coming year. So I got a couple of years, 2-3 years before she really starts to driving. As far as dating goes, she's had like a few boyfriends here or there, and like one time the boys' parents came and picked Natalia up, and like they went to dinner or something. But that, not just the two of them. It was obviously the kids' parents too. I mean, we're talking like 10 and 11-year-olds. But so there's been a few things
polishing
like that.
Were you polishing the shotgun when the kids showed up?
Much to my surprise, and I think Mrs. Lou's surprise too, I actually handled it pretty well. But I think it's because I knew they were just going to like Olive Garden or something with the kids' parents, and I'm like, there's no, like, I would be way more nervous like 2 years from now when it gets to the point where she's wanting to like even go to the mall with just her girlfriends or whatever. Like that scares me more than sending her off with a boy's parents to go eat at Olive Garden for a couple hours. But all those things are coming. Like she's already at the point now where she can't stand being here. But problem is she's not old enough to drive, and she doesn't have any friends who are old enough to drive, so she's stuck here. So she gets home every Friday, and she spends like the first hour or two on the phone trying to figure out, okay, whose house can I go to for the weekend so I don't have to stay here.
Mm-hmm. And the rest of the night, if she's at home, they spend it in their bedroom on their phone.
Oh yeah, we don't see her unless she needs something or wants something. That's about it.
Get real acquainted with your daughter's bedroom door. You're going to be seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, ultimately, here's a little bit of non-joking for you. And I'm sure as a father, you've been thinking about this probably for a while and dreading it. The speech, not the birds and the bees thing. I got lucky. I got out of that one. But hopefully this doesn't happen to you until your daughter is like 80. But when they finally come home and either tell you they've had sex or they tell you they're wanting to have sex.
Yeah, she better talk to Mrs. Lou about that.
I was really lucky, and I don't want to talk a lot about my child, of course, but I must have done something right, because to my knowledge she comes to me about pretty much all the important stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, she's a female, and a female's heart is a deep, dark place, and they're going to keep secrets that we'll never know about. But when she came to me about that first instead of her mom, and that was, although it was crushing, it was a point of pride, that made me feel like, all right, I've done a good enough job with her that she felt comfortable enough to come tell me that. And then I wanted to kill her.
Right. I don't know that. I don't know. And relationships and comfort levels and things change. It seems like from day to day sometimes around here. But so I don't know that she would come to me with that, but I'm 100% confident that she would come to either me or her mom with anything. Like you're saying, your daughter's always been good about coming to you with.
Yeah.
I feel like I do think there's like any parent. I feel like there's a lot of areas maybe we've come up a little short in, but I do feel like we've done a good job of making sure they know, like, listen, there's nothing you can't tell me
Right.
or ask me.
Making them believe that's the hard part.
Right. Right.
Convincing them to believe that you're not going to kill them.
And
they come with something important.
One of the ways I think we started trying to instill that in them is like, there would be times when, well, hell, I guess it still happens, but maybe they spill a drink in their room or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have two choices when that happens. Put a piece of newspaper over that kind of thing, right? Or like, come tell me, like, hey, I made a mess. Cleaning it is over my head. I'm sorry. This is what happened. So when something like that happens and they come and tell us, we don't flip out. We don't, we just say, well, you did the right thing. You came and told her, whatever. And we go and cleaned up. But if I happen to go in their room, like if I happen to go in Lou Jr.'s room today for some reason while he's at school or whatever, and I see a turned over bag of potato chips and a cup of Coke spilled on his computer table or whatever, then he's in big trouble,
Really?
Because he didn't tell me. You got to tell me.
Junior?
How old is he? He's 10 in that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a peculiar spot there with having one of each. It's probably a good thing, and so they're 2-3 years apart. That's a good gap. Hopefully, as they get up into high school, I guess she'll be finishing high school right about the time he's getting good and started, I guess.
There's one grade in between them, so like she's in seventh. She's in seventh. He's in fifth, so he's in his last year of elementary school. So like next year, she'll be 8th grade, last year of middle school, and he'll be 6th grade, first year of middle school. So there's that 1 year. So when she's a senior, he'll be a sophomore type of thing. So yeah.
Is he going to be you think he's going to be a protective big brother or a I don't give a crap big brother?
Well, he's little brother, and like right now he could care less. I'll be honest with you. Like I don't think he would mind if if somebody wanted to was picking on Natalia or whatever. I'm not sure how much he would mind right now, but hopefully as he gets a little bit, I think that'll change as he gets a little bit older. But right now they're still like like the car ride to the beach, which it wasn't that far, 3 hours or whatever. Get off me, don't touch me, stop looking at me. Mom, tell Natalia to stop looking at me. I'm like, what is it, man? Why do you care that she's looking at you? Like what?
But that's the end of the world to them.
Yeah. Oh, but she's doing it on purpose just to bother me, though. Well, don't let her know it bothers you. It's like me and you on YouTube, right? Like if there's some troll comment that really bothers me, the worst thing I can do is let people know that bothers me because then that's all I'm going to see. So I tell my son, I was like, if her looking at you bothers you, just act like you don't even notice, and I promise she'll start doing it. But as soon as she knows it's getting to you, then just forget it. She's going to stare at you for this whole car ride.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do is let a troll know you're getting to them. And it's 10 times worse than that with kids. Kind of like these people that are listening to this morning, they're probably thinking, parenting tips with Lou and BVD. Who knew?
Yeah. What not? Yeah. Listen to everything you hear on this episode, and then do the opposite with your own kids.
Hey, that's quality. That's quality parenting advice right there.
Oh man, that's funny.
The biggest thing we can do, all joking aside, man, is teach our kids what not to do.
Yeah.
And I have become a master at that one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I made enough mistakes that, I think I've got the book covered. But joking aside, man, our kids are our lives, and some people forget that. I think when they're watching you on here, I think people forget that Uncle Lou is first of all a character, and second of all a father first and foremost. And it's easy for people to forget that.
Yeah.
And so this is a little pre-Christmas real talk, as the saying goes here, for that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we
man,
have to. We always keep it $1.50.
you got to.
Yeah, you have
You
to.
have to.
So, hey, this is skipping past Christmas here. When was the last time you made a New Year's resolution?
When's the last time I made one, or when's the last time I made one that I kept?
Well, no one's ever kept one. Nobody. But when's the last time you even pretended that you were going to make one or whatever?
You know what? I'm one of those guys that don't generally do that.
I don't either.
But I think what I'm going to do this year, in fact, you've just given me an idea. I think this year my New Year's resolution is going to be to get old, fat, toothless, and ugly.
Well, hell.
And that way I got that covered going in. Easy peasy, no work, done and done.
Yeah. You know what I do? I've never been like people do, like, I'm gonna quit smoking, or I'm gonna quit drinking, or I'm gonna lose 20 pounds or whatever. I don't do anything like that, but I can't help but it seems like every year around this time, or maybe after Christmas to leading up to New Year's, I do think about maybe what can I do different next year in whatever area to goals, I guess. Like I do think about, okay, what are some goals I can set myself for this year, and I'm I don't always follow through with them, and hell, maybe a week later they're out the window, but I do put some thought, I think, towards the end or beginning of each new year into I'll pick one area, whether it's parenting, or whether it's YouTube or work, for whatever you guys watch and do for work or whatever. And I want to be, what can I do better this year than last year? But it's never really anything real specific. So I don't know if that's technically a New Year's resolution, but I don't know. I can't help but think about that. I think towards the end of every year, man, how can I be a little bit better next year than I was this year? So I don't know, but no, I've never really set resolutions either.
Where are you with that this year? We're what, 15 days ish away from the new year. Have you kind of got any sights on goals?
Yeah.
How about YouTube goals? Let's keep it YouTube goals.
Yeah. I think this is there's a. People have been saying this expression forever, but if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards. Like, there's no such thing as standing still. I think that's especially true on YouTube. And I don't know how true it is, but when you do YouTube for a living, I constantly have this feeling that okay, if I don't do something today, people are gonna forget about me. People are gonna stop watching. It's very stressful that way, because there are just so many channels on YouTube. It's just it's this overwhelming feeling all the time. Okay, you have to, if you don't do something, and so I'm always trying to think of new and different things to do. So I do think now, this isn't for people who are doing YouTube as a hobby, or for me though, I make a living this way. So I do think it's important to I mean, it's no different than if you sell widgets for a living. You want to sell more widgets next year than you did last year, and it's the same way with YouTube. If I did whatever I did this year, I want to do a little bit more next year. And I've been pretty lucky over the last 2 or 3 years. I doubled basically from 16 to 17. Then I doubled again from 17 to 18, and I doubled again from 18 to this year. Now, eventually I'm going to get to the point where doubling is impossible. But
I don't know. If you look at some of the and we talked about this just a little bit last night on my stream. The I don't know if you'd call it a genre or whatever, but what we do on here, talking sports, I think is one of the toughest areas to grow, because the sports fan base doesn't grow, I don't think, so much every year. So, like you're saying, the more you grow in this thing, the harder it gets to double, with very little competition out there. I feel for you, in what you do. So it shouldn't be. I think you'll be fine, man.
Yeah.
You're on a great upward trajectory doing this, and as long if you keep working at this like you've been working, there's no way you're going to stop growing. I mean, that's just not going to happen. You put way too much work into this but that's part of the worry, I guess. I quit worrying about it years ago. Um, I got too much other crap to worry about than to worry about my YouTube channel. And to be honest with you, man, I tried this past year to get back into that. And don't get me wrong, I still love doing this. I'll be honest with you, man, YouTube saved my life in a lot of ways. And that's sad and pathetic to think about in some ways. But this is a great platform for people. And you and I, we didn't have this growing up.
Mm-mm.
You know, shoot, we were lucky to have color TV.
Yeah.
And so to have this as a platform for people now, it's a great thing, and I wish you continued. I think you should be doing this. I'm not going to say professionally, because why not? Why aren't you already considered professional? I think you should have your own TV show. To be honest, you're good at this. You're very good at it, and I think this is your niche, whatever, however you pronounce it. And so,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel like I struggle with a way to describe it, because like I do feel lucky that I've found a way to turn the thing I'm most passionate about, which is college football, outside of the things that really matter, like family and stuff like that. But in terms, some people play golf all the time. Some people play cards when they're off. Some people watch football as their hobby or whatever. So I do feel lucky that I found a way to turn that into this. But on the other hand, it's not all luck. I mean, you do, at least for me anyway, I've had to work and scratch and claw and grind to get to where I am here. And it can be frustrating, especially on the YouTube platform, when I'm scrolling through my home tab on YouTube and I see someone with 3 million subscribers that just started making videos 3 months ago. And I'm
that
like,
can be discouraging, can it?
Yeah. So there is some luck a lot of times involved in YouTube, but unless you're one of those people who, for whatever reason, just blows up immediately, and it's usually those vlogging type channels that do that, I guess, I don't know, but unless you're one of those type people, it's a grind. I mean, it's no, I'm no millionaire. I can tell you that.
What?
I think it's a
Get
trade.
out of here.
No. I think it's a trade-off, though. I mean, I've had plenty of jobs where I make more money than what I make now.
Mm-hmm.
But since I started doing YouTube full time, I've never missed any of my son's soccer games, any of my daughter's dance recitals, school functions. If one of them is sick, I can go pick them up from school. There's trade-offs, I don't have to get in my car at 7:30 every morning, drive somewhere, clock in, do the same thing day after day for 8 hours at a time, and then come home. I've done that. I spent a lot of my life doing that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I made a trade-off. Now, I may get to the point eventually where I make more money doing this than I used to make doing other things. We'll see. But I get to watch all the football I want. I set my own schedule basically. So I do feel lucky to be able to do what I do, but at the same time, I have really worked to get where I got. I don't, anything I have on YouTube, I feel like I earned it and deserved it. It wasn't that I got lucky. Right. I mean, yeah, I've had a few videos that sort of took off where, the Hail Mary thing. That I guess is luck, because no amount of planning on my part can make that Hail Mary thing happen. Like that just happens, and I just happen to be recording myself when it happens. So a little bit of luck there, but
those type videos are Hail Marys in their own right,
Yeah.
Like the Lane Kiffin thing. People, did you plan that night? I'm like, no, I didn't plan on getting pissed off and walking through my house like a hillbilly idiot, burning stuff and cussing a person I've never met in my life. I mean, so I think I'm curious, and this is for any aspiring YouTuber. I used to have people ask me, "Oh, what do you have to do to make a viral video?"
Right.
Well,
I wish I knew.
Right. You have to be lucky. That's just about it.
Yeah.
Every video I've ever made that I thought, oh, this is a great idea, man. This one's surely going to be viral. They peter out.
Yeah.
They do nothing. But what I was going to say, you are fortunate, and I know you're well aware of this, but you're fortunate to have a wife and a family that I'm not going to say allows you to do this, but you're fortunate that you're in a spot where you can do this for your living, and obviously you don't have a wife that nags all the time and, why are you doing that, couldn't you be doing something different? I'm imagining that your wife is supportive, or you wouldn't be doing this.
Well, she's a lot more supportive now than she was, say, in
the beginning,
2016.
Yeah.
I mean, I told you everything kind of doubled every year over the last 3 or 4 years, but I use this analogy all the time. If you start with a penny, doubling 4 years in a row doesn't get you a lot. So it's not that like I said, it's not like I'm making $500,000 a year now, but I'm making enough to do everything we need to do around here. But that, keeping in mind that it took me 4 years to get here, so there was a little bit of nagging back in 15 and 16, like, what are you doing out there?
Probably, yeah. Just, I think most women, especially women that aren't sports fans, what in the world, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And it's like anything in life. If you don't get it, you're not going to get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's like I tell her, I don't understand how you can sit around on a Sunday and binge watch 8 episodes of 90 Day Fiance, but you do. So, I sit around on Saturday and watch football all day. You sit around on Sunday and watch Little Women LA or whatever the hell, those midget shows or whatever. Or I'm sorry, Little People or whatever they are. Or whatever.
Hey, don't be making fun of my midget shows now, Lou.
I'll watch some of those things with her sometimes, usually at night, like when we go to lay down or something. She'll say, ooh, I have a whatever, Keeping Up with the Kardashians recorded, and she'll put it on, and I'll watch like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm just like,
yeah, I can't do the Kardashians. I do a lot of reality TV, and I get picked on sometimes for some of the things I watch, but I never could do the Kardashians.
Well, what do you watch? Do you watch like the Ice Truckers and the Vikings and Gold Rush?
Well, there's the one you mentioned, Gold Rush. I love any of the Alaskan shows.
Yeah,
I love those shows. I don't know whatever got me into those, but really any kind of reality TV, which is horse hockey. None of that crap is real, but like Alaskan bush people, stuff like that. And here's the one that gets me. I get murdered for this one. Teen Mom. I don't know why, but I think my daughter got me.
Is that the MTV one?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I remember that show. Yeah, that thing's been on forever. That show's been on a long time.
It has, man. I mean, these girls are not teen moms anymore.
Right.
They're almost 30, and some of them have got 50 kids now with 49 different dads.
And some of the original teen moms from, like you said, 20 years ago, now their kids are teen moms.
Yeah. Teen grandma, I guess that's next.
Yeah, so you got a lot of these teen moms are now like 35-year-old grandmothers.
That's terrible.
But it's true. It's true, though. I mean, think about it. If somebody, I mean, because those original teen moms, I mean, those kids were 16, 17, and 18 having kids. So
Yeah.
if those kids then had a kid, even when they were 20, then that would make those people 37, 38-year-old grandmothers now.
Yeah, what's it going to be like when these women are 50? You know,
Oh,
they're going to have great grandkids, and you know,
their Christmases will
I
be
think-
insane. They would have like 6 generations show up at one Christmas.
Yeah, the thing that blows me away about these shows is just some of the crap that people do nowadays. I mean, it's amazing the things that well, they're kids to us, you know, 20 somethings do, and for some reason, it always makes me look back to my 20s. And I don't know if you do this or not, but I'm always comparing what my daughter, she's 19, and every time she comes to me with something, it always takes me back to when I was her age. What was I doing when I was this age? And you've got the old "when I was your age" coming up soon, if it hasn't already, with your kids. So that's always fun, to be able to say, son, daughter, when I was your age, this is how we did things. And they just don't get it. Just like we didn't get it when our parents did it.
Yeah. Teen mom and people might not know this, but because like now you turn on TV now, like every other channel is a reality TV show. That's like the norm. Like probably the majority of shows on now are technically reality shows. But
and
when we were
shows.
teenagers, when me and you were teenagers, you mentioned Teen Mom, but like The Real World on MTV was revolutionary. Like nobody had ever seen anything like that. What? You're going to put 8 or 9 people that don't know each other in a house, rig it up with cameras and film them 24 hours a day? Like, this is amazing. Like,
you remember the movie Ed TV?
Yeah.
I think that had a big hand in getting a lot of that started.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. I actually used to watch that show a little bit. I don't know what got me into reality TV, to be honest with you. Probably just the fascination of it, kind of like you said. What? So you're going to put a camera in somebody's house 24 hours a day, and that'll never work.
I remember watching Teen Mom when I guess it was 20 or 25 years ago now when that thing first came on, and the same thing with Real World. And I probably watched all of the first 5 or 6 or even 7 years that the Real World
does that show even exist anymore?
I don't know, because at one point, like you remember they came out with Jersey Shore about 10 years ago, which was a version of Real World, sort of. And now they have another one. Well, they're still doing Jersey Shore, but now they have another one that they film at Panama City. Have you seen?
That like the Jersey, Bama, Florida? Something,
yes.
or?
If you haven't seen, maybe somebody, I can't remember what the name of it is. Maybe somebody can tell us, but you've got to check it out. Like, everybody on the show is from Georgia, Alabama, Florida, Mississippi. Like the Jersey Shore, everybody was from like Long Island and whatever, New York, and so you had those accents and all that. This is the same thing, but it's all Southern. And some of these people on here, man, are not doing us Southerners any favors when it comes to some of the stereotypes that are out there or whatever. But it is a funny show though.
Your Georgia family, God, what's her name? The lady that looks like a donkey that lost all the weight. I even watched some of that ridiculous show. She's got the daughter that was in beauty pageants and.
Oh yeah, Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah. And now the new one now is Mama June from Hot or from Not to Hot or whatever.
Yeah.
Now that one's bad, and I even watched some of that last year, just to see what kind of trouble. She's in real life trouble now, I guess, with drugs and her boyfriend being a piece of crap. And so I always said, what, if they want to do a real reality show, come set some cameras up in some of my family's house. We'll give you a reality show. But what would they do here? You know, hey,
Right.
look at this guy sitting on the couch most of the day.
Well,
There's some.
now with YouTube, it's like we all have our own reality show now.
Mhm. Yep. Well, the vlogging,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's a
Do
lot of
you watch
people.
any vlog channels that aren't? What do you watch on YouTube that's not sports related?
Well, I used to watch a lot of the vlog channels like Roman Atwood, um, the Shay Carl family, stuff like that. And I like I don't know if you know who I'm talking about, the Shay Tards.
Uh huh. Yeah.
That I guess they don't do it anymore, but I was watching that dude. You know, he and I started YouTube at the same time. And
Wow.
I don't know if you know, do you know Boogie 6998? I think it is. Great big fat guy that lost a
Yeah.
bunch of
Yeah.
weight.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh huh.
Like we started at the same time, and I used to talk to that dude all the time. And now he's mega famous and
Mm-hmm.
a totally different person. So yeah, I used to watch a lot of those, but everything now, well, everything's going to live streaming now.
Yeah.
There's hardly nobody, it doesn't seem, starts YouTube to do videos anymore.
And I kind of
It's
miss that too. I mean, I love live.
mhm.
I live stream all the time. I love it, but I like watching well put together. Um,
Yeah. Did you ever watch Roman Atwood or any of the guys that did the prank videos?
mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, for a long time, that was the main thing on YouTube was the prank videos,
Yeah.
and that guy was the master. And
You
now
know,
he's a mega millionaire up in outside of Columbus, and
yeah.
his
It's
house
it's
looks like a
crazy how many
yeah.
like just there's a lot of millionaires walking around who are
Hmm.
millionaires from nothing but YouTube. Like
Yep.
it's unbelievable. The what got me watching um, up until I started doing YouTube, I didn't even have a YouTube account or whatever to make comments. And literally the only time I ever went to YouTube was if I wanted to know how to do something. Like if the food disposal in my sink went out and I needed to replace it.
Hmm.
I remember doing this. I would go to YouTube and how to replace food disposal in sink. And I'd watch 2 or 3 videos. Then I'd go to Lowe's. I'd buy what I need. I'd come home. I'd watch the videos again. I'd pause it. I'd do what it said. Watch a little bit more of the video. That was literally all I did. And somehow,
Educational TV.
somehow I think it was through my nephews, which I've talked about a lot as why I started my YouTube channel. They talked me into starting a YouTube channel, but my nephews used to watch this show, The Angry Grandpa. I think a lot of people know who that
Oh
is now.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was the first. I created a YouTube account for the first time to comment on the Angry Grandpa channel. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever. I remember when they showed me the Angry Grandpa or something, and I watched 2 or 3 videos, and then later that night I went to lay down, and I pulled my phone out, and I went to the Angry Grandpa channel, and I watched another video or two, and I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. I ended up
Hmm.
scrolling all the way back to the beginning of their channel, and over about a 3-day period, I watched every single video from the very beginning to where I got caught up to current day. It blew my mind. I thought it was the funniest thing I had ever seen, and
Yeah. It was
and,
real
and,
too.
and
It seemed like,
right,
you
and I
know.
felt like I knew him a little bit. And Angry Grandpa died. It's been I think just over 2 years now.
Hmm.
Right around this time of year, maybe Thanksgiving, and I was sad, like legitimately
Yeah.
sad. And
Yeah.
I've never been a big fan of Michael, the guy that the kid behind the camera guy.
Hmm.
That does, never been a big fan of his, and I don't watch all of their stuff anymore because Angry Grandpa to me was the draw. But I'm still subscribed to him. I still watch him every once in a while. But I felt like my grandpa had died when Angry Grandpa died. Like it was really sad.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the same for you, but I could kind of relate to that dude because, to me, he got pissed off about a lot of the same things I would get pissed off about. But, just like any other good channel, after a while, they started running out of things, to do. So that, they started staging the stuff a little bit.
Yeah,
And
you
it,
could tell.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was still funny. I
And
mean,
I think a lot of people, like you said, could relate. Um, because these weren't well-to-do people.
Right.
And
Just regular, normal people.
yeah, I mean, they grew up, they lived in a trailer park,
Yeah.
And now Michael has a really nice house, and they towards the last couple of years, I guess, of Angry Grandpa's life were probably the best of his life. They they bought him his dream car at one point. They
Yep.
bought him a house.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
even
can you
the first
imagine
3 or
that?
4 years, if you go back to to that channel and you go back to the early videos, they're in a trailer.
Yeah. I mean, they came from nothing,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah,
And I personally, I've always kind of, I guess you could say, dreamed about hitting some kind of luck like that or whatever. But I literally cannot envision, what it would be like to go from, I, I pretty much basically, being disabled. I live well below the poverty line. I can't imagine waking up one day and all of a sudden having millions of dollars and being able to go out and buy anything you want, not having to worry about it. Hey, let's go buy Dad a new 57 or a 57 Chevy and pay cash for it.
yeah,
I mean, that gave, I think things like that gave a lot of people a lot of hope,
yeah.
that, hey, maybe my life doesn't have to suck,
Right.
and maybe this can happen to me. But then again, I guess there's a flip side of that too. You hear about a lot of people that they start YouTube channels thinking they're going to get rich. 2 or 3 years later, they've still got 40 subscribers, and realize it's not. You don't just start a YouTube channel one day and the next day you're, EDP 445.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's
the
a story
first piece
for
of
you.
advice I give people anytime they ask me for anything, because they always want to know, can you make a living on YouTube? How much money do you make? Which I'm not going to tell anybody that anyway, but I tell people, YouTube shouldn't be your plan as far as providing for yourself, because
Yeah, I
the
mean, I
chances
guess
of and this, I'm not bragging on myself, but the chances of even getting to the point where I'm at right now is way less than 1%. It's
not
so
unless you're
hard.
going to work for it. I
Right.
mean, it's you can tell people you put in. I know how many hours you put into this. Like anything else, if you want to work your ass off and be tireless at it, yeah, you can do anything in this world.
Yeah.
And that's what I try and tell my daughter all the time. You can literally be anything you want, but you got to work for it.
Yeah. And I don't ever try to discourage anybody from starting a YouTube channel or starting YouTube or whatever, but I try to make sure they set realistic expectations. It's not as easy as it might appear to be for most people. Like I said earlier, some people just get lucky right off the bat, and they're 5 million subscribers in a year or something. But that's just not the norm. If you're starting YouTube today, and your plan is for YouTube to feed you next week, you're going to be hungry.
You're going to be hungry.
You are going to be starving.
Yeah.
For 99.999% of people.
The biggest thing that I can say that I've gotten out of YouTube is all the incredible people that I've met.
Oh, yeah.
Some of my best friends in the world right now, and there's very few of them, I actually met on YouTube. And if you'd have told me, 10, 11 years ago when I started this, hey man, you're going to meet some great people on here and, be lifelong friends with them, I've been like, yeah, you're crazy. My buddy ACP Carter, he's a prime example of that. Catfish.
Mm-hmm.
I've known you for years now, and I just met a lot of great people on here. And I know you know that you talk to a lot of great people. I'm looking at a lot of people in the chats right now, that are on your show every time you have a show. A lot of them are, anytime I do something, they're there. I'm looking at one right now, Kevin 033. I give him hell when he comes into my stream, for for being an Uncle Lou nut hugger, but he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
And we depend on people like that for continued success on here and to help spread the word,
Right.
because it sure doesn't do it by itself.
No. Sharing the videos is
Sharing is
everything.
caring, Lou.
It's everything. People, you mentioned earlier, people talking about how can I make a viral video. Start sharing my video. I mean, that's how. There's nothing I can do. Like, I can share my video. That's great. I need 1,000 other people to share it. That's the only way any video ever goes viral. Period.
Yeah.
It starts getting shared. I just realized, I don't know how I missed it. I used to really keep up. Like, I would upload a video and like every 30 minutes I'm looking at the views and I'm like, ooh, this one's catching on or whatever. You just kind of stop doing that at a certain point. So I didn't even realize, but my post-game video after we got humiliated by LSU, obviously got shared around somewhere. And you can tell when it happens. I mean, most of my videos during the season get between maybe 5, 10, 15,000 views, something like that. This one's up over 50,000 now. So I'm like, okay, somebody has got a hold of this thing. And sure enough, yesterday I started getting a bunch of messages from people. The Ohio State 24/7 page wrote an article about that video, and they titled the video, "Every Georgia fan needs to listen to this guy." Which pissed off a lot of Georgia fans because they definitely don't want to listen to me, a lot of them anyway.
Oh yeah, that's how you know you're doing good. Is when a lot of your own fan base
I saw
can't
that
stand
title
you.
and I was like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
But that's how it happens. I mean, you need individuals like the people that are watching now. You need them to say, man, this is a great video, and share it, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. And then anytime you can get somebody like 24/7 or Saturday Down South or any of these big college blogs or whatever, anytime they end up putting the video out, you can see immediately the result. The views will just go insane.
Yeah. And I'm sure it's the same for you. You probably have certain fan bases, not Georgia fans, that are huge followers of your channel. Tennessee fans, I know you've got a ton of Tennessee guys that follow you. And speaking of people that we've met over the years, I don't know how your relationship is with a lot of people, but I saw Gator Boo Boxers R Us in the comments. There's another guy that I've known for years on here. Just a outstanding individual, as Lyle would say.
And he's not a group of individuals. He's just he's a single individual.
He is.
Right. Which of course, Lyle, big fan of groups of individuals.
Yes. 5-star hearts and champions of life.
Obviously, yes. What do you think? What do you think's going to happen? Where is his next? What's next? And
Man.
whether it's next year or 3 years from now, whatever, doesn't matter. What is next for him? Do you think? Well, obviously he wants to be a head coach again, or he would have just quit coaching altogether. Will he get? What will come next? A Power 5 job anywhere, somewhere, or will he have to step back down first?
I honestly thought he was going to get the Rutgers job. I'm still kind of amazed that they went back to Schiano, but I think it would more than likely have to be a Group of 5 job. Why wouldn't Memphis take a look at him? I think they've already got their guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that would be a great place for Butch to go, as Memphis. Can you imagine? I mean, the Tennessee fans, we're going to be on him no matter where he goes. But if he came to Memphis, that would be instant news for him. But yeah, it's probably going to be, I think, somebody maybe back to a Cincinnati type school, somewhere like that. Or who knows, man? He could end up just being a coordinator or something, or an analyst.
Yeah.
He might just stay right there in Nick Saban's pocket. And it is fun to tell the Bama fans he's the next coach after Saban,
Yeah.
That gets them good and riled up.
Yeah, I think eventually he's gonna get an opportunity somewhere.
Yeah, somebody will give him a chance, just like Lane Kiffin.
Hell, didn't Willie Taggart already get hired as a head coach again at FAU or something? Didn't he replace Kiffin? Is that what I heard?
I do not know.
I think someone typed that, but not sure if troll but I have heard that. I'm gonna do. I don't normally do this. I'm gonna put this up on the screen. People, when you have a YouTube channel, this is the most asked question you ever get. Besides, are you retarded? Is how much money do you make per video? We were talking earlier about these people who, and it's so frustrating when you're somebody like me or BVD that really has to work and scratch and claw. But then you got some people that can literally fart in a cup and 5 million views. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what they do, like they hit upload and like 5 minutes later it's got 1 million views already, and it's frustrating. But I was talking about this LSU video. I'm gonna put this up on the screen, and I don't know if you're watching or not, BVD, so I'll just tell you what's on here. But 48.6 thousand views, $306.
Wow.
Now I want you to think about these channels that upload 20 or 25 videos a month that get 2, 3, 4, 5 million views per video.
Oh, but believe me, I used to almost obsess over that, and that's another thing that it's hard to convince people. I get the same question sometimes. How much do you make per video? There is no standard,
right?
At least not for my channel. I mean,
no, it varies, and trying to figure it out is impossible.
It'll drive you nuts.
Yeah,
man.
and YouTube pays different at different times of the year. We're lucky as college football video makers because YouTube ad revenue, the rate is the highest during college football season. Not because it's college football season, but because it's the holidays. So like October, November, in other words, if I got 48,000 views on a video in February, I would not make $306.
Wow.
Because YouTube charges more to Coke or whatever, whoever's buying ads on YouTube. YouTube charges them more in the last 3 months of the year because it's the holiday season. They charge less the first 3 months of the year when everyone's broke from the holidays,
I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I never really thought about that. I don't have, my patience is so thin, in the last few years with everything that I don't have the patience of, say, a catfish to spend the time researching and analyzing all this stuff because it would literally drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So I just try, I've always tried to look at this as, if I make anything, if I make $5 this month, doing YouTube videos, that's A, $5 I didn't have, and it's B, $5 doing something that I love and enjoy doing. I know you've heard the old saying, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yep, that's right.
And I mean, I'm sure you have days when you're hating the fact that you're doing what you're doing, but you never have to leave. You never have to leave the UNCLELOU compound if you don't want to, unless you need to go get a gallon of milk.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's a great thing.
Yeah.
I get people all the time, and this kills me. Man, BVD, you're lucky. You don't have to work. You get to sit at home all day. I'm like, I would give my left leg if I could go back to work. I mean, I'm talking getting up, at 6 o'clock in the morning like I used to and going out there and grinding all day for 10, 12, 14 hours. I miss that. And you may or may not know, being disabled is not a job. It sucks. And being confined to not being able to do the things you used to do when you were younger really sucks. So if I could offer any young person, any advice, if you want to call it, at all in this world, it's to never take anything for granted and keep doing it while you can do it, because we literally never know when we're going to wake up someday and not be able to do it. And again, man, I'd give anything to be able to go out there and bust my ass every day. Now I just wake up every day and bust my ass stepping out the back door.
Yeah.
You know. Um, so enjoy things. You know, there's a lot of people in this world that would literally kill to do even what I do, which is nothing. Um, I think about this all the time, and I don't know how we got headed in this direction, but I used to watch videos of some of these, like, I don't know, these slums in India and places like that. If you ever want a dose of reality, go spend you a couple hours watching videos like that and see how people
Yeah.
in those corners of the world live. And if you're feeling sorry for yourself that day, I guarantee you it'll get you out of it.
Yeah, look, I tell people this all the time. No matter how bad you're feeling or how bad things are, please believe me. There are a lot of people right now way worse off. Like, you know, things could always be worse.
Some days that doesn't help.
Oh, yeah, wow.
We're human, you know.
Yeah.
We all have those days, and this time of year for me, where you asked me at the beginning when we started talking about, what do I do for my holidays? The biggest thing I do, honestly, is just try and get through it, you know. And I don't like being like that. I don't like to not enjoy things.
Yeah.
And right now, I just try and get through it and get a new year started and watch Uncle Lou grow and hopefully watch BVD TV grow. And by the way, I saw you mention way back at the beginning about not having a sponsor. What's up with that? I mean, obviously, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. But you
No,
just
well, I just started this morning show. I mean, the HVAC thing is permanent.
right,
And there's a couple of different reasons for that. The main reason is he was the first person to ever reach out to me about wanting to help the channel some kind of way,
yeah,
which ended up being him sponsoring that live show that I was doing at the time, which had 40 people watching it. I mean, this was 2 or 3 years ago. And
welcome back,
so,
welcome to my world.
right. And so I'll just be honest. When it comes to the night shows, I put his information up on the screen, and whether he's actually sponsoring the show or not is irrelevant to me.
Right.
He did something for me when he didn't have to, when no one else was, and when it didn't make any sense for him to do it financially. I mean, he wasn't going to get anything, especially then, out of sponsoring my show. No one was
Yeah.
watching. And
I
it
can
means a
totally
lot
relate.
to me. It means a lot to me that he did that. So that HVAC thing, I could put that up all the time, and I'll always put that up, regardless of what he has paid me, is paying me, or will pay me in the future is irrelevant. With the other sponsors, they come and go. I had a podcast sponsored the show for a month. I've got another an LED badge thing. They're sponsoring the Saturday shows through the end of the year. So it just kind of comes and goes. Some people want to sponsor one show. Some people want to sponsor 1 week's worth of shows. Some people want to sponsor for a month. It just depends. So right now there is no sponsor for the morning show, but it doesn't matter.
That's a tough thing too for me. Is my whatever you call it, my primary sponsor, ETI, Everhart Transportation. He actually approached me, which it kind of blew my mind, kind of like you with the Lanier. He was the first person, or first. Well, he approached me as a person first before a business, and thanked me for doing the Greenville stuff, and following his son, and he threw it out there on the table to help my channel. And I honestly had never even considered getting a sponsor for my channel, because I was thinking, who in the hell in their right mind is going to give me money, to watch me do and say some of the things I do and say in some of my videos. So like you, I will always be grateful to ETI. They will always, as long as I do YouTube, they will be, the primary sponsor. And of course, I'm not gonna. it's nobody's business what these people do for us, but I'm guessing it's probably a lot like you with Lanier. What that man did for me this year was so much more valuable than what I will ever be able to give back to his company.
Yeah.
So sponsorships are tough for me because, I feel like I could probably get out there and shake the bushes and rattle the trees and probably get some more sponsors out of this town. But I'm probably going to have to change the way I do some things. And right now, I don't know if I want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, Klein Everhart pretty much told me, he said, keep doing what you're doing. And so, sometimes I
Yeah, you
won't
can't
put
change.
him up.
You can't
Yeah.
change because this is what, and I've had to tell people that, and I've turned plenty of things down, but they'll say, "Oh man, I really love your channel. I want to do business with you some kind of way, or a sponsorship or whatever. But I need you to do this, this, and this, or I need you to quit doing this, 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 and that." And I tell them the same thing. Listen, you found my channel or you watch my channel because I do things a certain way. I'm not gonna change it. If you want to sponsor the show, then watch the show, and if that's what you want to sponsor, fine. But I'm not changing. I don't allow them to dictate anything to me about what I will or won't do, or about what I can or can't say. The only thing I'll let them do is send me some taglines to say about their company in the beginning of the show when I'm saying, "Hey, shout out to Lanier HVAC Services." If you that whole thing about if you live in these 3 areas and need some work now, like, okay, yeah, let me know what you want to say. 20, 30 seconds, a couple of sentences. I'm not changing what I do on video, or this is what I do. If you want to sponsor that, sponsor it. If you don't, I understand, but I'm not going to change what I do.
Yeah, you have to be like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've been watching me for years. Some of my language sometimes is not G-rated, and I explained that to Klein when we ever mentioned the first dollar. I told him, I know you don't watch all of my stuff. You primarily watch the Greenville stuff, but when I do some of my Tennessee videos and when I do the rants and some of the live streams, it gets pretty raw. And I told him that I would never put his name up there on any video, where I'm basically acting like an idiot, cussing, and he basically told me, do whatever you want to do. Put me out there wherever you want to put me out there.
Right.
And that's, I mean, he's never climbed up my backside, wanting to know where all he's being mentioned and all that stuff. He basically, for lack of a better way to put it, he paid me what I asked for, and that was pretty much the end of it.
Yeah.
And and I told him, I said, well, you're it. There will never be another quote unquote sponsor, for my channel that will get the same attention or anything that he does. And I guess it's a lot like you with Lanier.
Yeah.
Just kind of a special, that first one, that is always, it's why you see a lot of people, frame the first dollar they ever make for their business.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
if I could
analogy.
frame,
Yeah.
if I could frame Klein Everhart and put him on every video, I would.
I hear you. Listen, BVD, I'm gonna let you go. There's 253 people that have here listening to me and you ramble. This is really amazing.
And we did not say the first thing hardly about college football. How did we do that?
I don't know, and I like. I started the morning show to talk about things not sports related, so I like that we did that. But I did intend on asking you about Indiana, but since we didn't get to it, I'm just going to have you back on sometime between now and your bowl game, and you're just going to have to find a way to make room for that.
Well, we can certainly work it out. You got my number.
Yep.
Hit me up. Appreciate you coming, Sunday nights and sharing a little bit of time with me. That helps. And I'll say this about Indiana. We're going to win. And beyond that, we'll talk about it next time. Shout out to everybody in the chats that listened to us this morning. I've seen you've got, and I'm sure you'll take care of that here. You've gotten quite a few super chats and a lot of people in here that we see every day on our show. So thanks to every one of you guys. Appreciate it. We couldn't do it without you.
Thanks for coming on, BVD. It means a lot. You're one of the reasons I'm here today. So, I've mentioned that a million times. I'll never forget that. So thanks for coming on, sir. If there's ever anything Uncle Lou can do for you, you let me know, and we will talk to you again real soon. One of my favorite people in all of YouTube, BVD, one of the first sports channels I ever started watching here on YouTube. Him and Law Tide are two of the first that I started interacting with when I created my YouTube channel. So known BVD a long, long time, and a really good guy. Most of you, I'm sure, are already subscribed to BVD. If you're not, though, check him out. I think you'll enjoy it. Let me get caught up on these super chats here. Shane Bentley, thank you for the super chat, sir. I really appreciate it. Thank you. He says, good morning, ladies and gents. Good to hear from BVD. Merry Christmas to you all, and go Dogs. Yeah, go Dogs. Braves WS, thank you for the super chat, sir. I really, really appreciate it. Good morning to my first Uncle Lou video was way back the rant after the 2015 loss to Bama on Facebook. Been hooked ever since. Yeah, a lot of people found me after that video. I was sitting in my car in the rain, and I just went completely nuts. And then, unfortunately, about 2 weeks later, I had to do the exact same thing when we lost Tennessee in the car again. I thank you for the super chat, sir. Celine Driver, good morning in that. He says, good morning and that, Lou. Hope you enjoyed the island. Looking forward to the bowl season and your bowl videos. And, yes, I'll be here for the off season. I know you will, sir. Thank you. I hope a lot of you will stick around this off season. We have a good time. It seemed like y'all enjoyed that this morning with BVD. I mentioned expanding this show to 5 days a week in the off season. This show doesn't stop when football season stops, or this channel doesn't stop when football season stops. I've been doing this year-round for 3 or 4 years. I hope the majority of you will stick around during the off-season because we really, really have a good time. And during the season, I just feel like I don't have time to talk about anything other than college football because there's just so much going on. I honestly feel like there's not enough time during college football season for me to even talk about all the college football stuff I want to talk about. But during the off-season, that's all we have is time. So it gives us an opportunity to talk about all kinds of things. And I still talk about college football year-round. I cover recruiting and signing day. Speaking of which, Wednesday, this live show will go on Wednesday. This live show will go until most of the signing day is over. It'll go through lunchtime. I'm going to start at 8 in the morning. We'll go through lunchtime. I'm going to cover all the big signings on signing day, any surprises, flips, all that kind of thing. So tune in Wednesday for signing day. And then you got the spring games that come up. I do season preview videos, all that kind of stuff. So we still talk a lot of football in the off season, but there's a lot of time for other stuff too. So I hope a lot of you will stick around. Philly Special 95, thank you for the super chat, sir. He says, I've been in a dark place mentally for a while. Uncle Lou's videos and streams give me a short break from that every day. Keep doing what you do. Philly Special, I appreciate that. And I can't tell you how many versions of that message I receive almost on a weekly basis. Whether it's a comment like this or someone sends an email or a Twitter message or a DM or whatever. It's easy to get wrapped up in what we do here, which is basically trash talk about each other's football teams. It's easy to forget that every single person you see right now in the comments section, whether they're here just to talk football, whether they're a troll, whatever, it's easy to forget that all of these names you see represent actual human beings who have the exact same problems and issues and, priorities and everything that we all do. They all have bills to pay. If you're parents, you all have kids you're dealing with, or everyone, we all deal with life when we're not in here trolling each other, and it's easy to forget that sometimes. So Philly Special, you're definitely not the only one, sir. I can guarantee you that. while I can't claim to fix anything that's wrong with anybody, it is nice to know that something that we're doing here is helping somebody some kind of way. And I am the same way. This has helped me through various things. So I definitely understand what you're saying, sir. And then Logan Jackson says, thank you for the super chat, Logan and Philly. Thank you, sir. Logan Jackson says, Carson Beck headed to UGA to overthrow Fromm. I would be shocked if anybody other than Jake Fromm starts at quarterback for Georgia next year. Tyrants 5, thank you for the super chat, sir. Keep up the great work, Lou, and amazing live stream. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I think Jake Fromm is starting every game at UGA until he either gets injured, dies, or runs out of eligibility. Slim Shady, what's up, buddy? Fun season again, Lou. Looking forward to the offseason, trash talk, and next season fun. That's the best part. Listen, I promise you, I've been doing this 4 or 5 years. So some of you that might be new here, I promise you, the national championship game, when's the national championship game? January 10th or whatever it is? The next day, everybody in this comment section will be undefeated. I promise you. Everyone will be talking about how they're going to dominate next year. So, Slim, you're exactly right. The offseason coming soon, and everyone is undefeated in the offseason. So, that honestly, in that respect, the offseason is actually more interesting than the regular season because everyone trash talks in the offseason, you know? No one has come out week 1 and lost to Georgia State yet, you know? So everyone is loud in the offseason. Everyone has reason to be optimistic in the offseason. So in that respect, it makes it interesting. It makes it a lot of fun, you know? No one has lost to Georgia State in week 1 in March. So the offseason does get interesting around here, for sure. So, but listen, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream today. I'm doing another video this afternoon. I'll have it posted. I don't know, sometime this afternoon. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. It's good to be back in the swing of things here. A normal week this week before. Having to kind of switch things around a little bit next week because of Christmas, but normal week this week. So I'll put the schedule back up on the screen real quick here as we close things out. But the morning show this week will be today, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. And the live call-in shows will be Tuesday and Thursday night at 10 p.m. There is a chance I won't be able to do the Saturday morning 9 a.m. show. I will let you know for sure on that in the next day or two. But the rest of the shows are going to go off as planned this week. Ken AV Guy, thank you, sir, for the super chat. I really appreciate it. He says, my kids and wife don't understand why I come here all the time either, but don't care. Y'all are a great bunch. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate it also. And two, I appreciate y'all. I love this too. I sometimes, like when I'm talking to people like BVD just now, I have to make myself not look in the comments section because a lot of times, I hate to say this because this is my channel. I would love to think that everyone is here to just listen to me and watch me, but a lot of times the comment section is way more entertaining than anything that I'm doing. So I have the best. This is one of my favorite things to say about you guys. There are a lot of channels on YouTube that are a lot bigger than mine. Obviously, there is not a better comment section on all of YouTube. Period. I have the best comment section, and no one can convince me otherwise. You guys are great. You guys are at least deserve at least as much credit on the success of this channel as I do. I feel like some days all I'm doing is providing a platform, and everyone else is really doing all the work here in the comment section. But so it means a lot to me that you guys continue to support the channel and tune in and remain active in the comment section. It really, really does mean a lot. So thank you, seriously, from the bottom of my heart. It really does mean a lot. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and end the show. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. Pick your favorite UNCLELOU video from this past season and share it somewhere, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Go over to your neighbor's house, knock on his door, stick your cell phone in his face, make him watch an Uncle Lou video, whatever you have to do. That would be amazing. That would be that can be your Christmas present to Uncle Lou this year. All right, guys. Next live show will be tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to have a couple of videos uploaded for you, one today, one tomorrow, to get you through till then. Probably going to be bowl previews. Start talking about somebody's bowl games. I think that's what we need to do. So that's what we're going to do. All right. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you again real soon in that.